YouTube, it's Adam from Album Music Mogul. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to go ahead and remake from scratch Shaboozey's A Bar Song. The tempo for this one is 162 beats per minute, and the track is produced by Nevin and Sean Cook. Let's go ahead and start off with the main guitar that you hear throughout the entire track. We're going to go ahead and start off with a piano. We'll draw in the chords, and then we'll bring in the guitars. Alright, so now that we got our chords, let's go ahead and bring in the guitar instrument in Kontakt. Anytime you want to recreate a nice strumming guitar, Kontakt Native Instruments has some incredible instruments for that purpose alone if you don't have a guitar on hand or don't know how to play guitar yourself. So what we're going to do here is going to create a new software instrument track. We're going to go and bring in Native Instruments Kontakt, and we're going to go ahead and reach for an instrument that really gives you that realistic guitar playing feel to it. So I'm going to scroll down to the instrument of choice here. I'm going to go over to Session Guitarist Strummed Acoustic 2. Let's go ahead and bring in the six string version here. We're going to change the song from Handmade over to I Don't Care to give us the similar strumming pattern that you heard in A Bar Song. So that is a little too fast. We got to go over to the playback mode, and we're going to go to halftime. So we got our main pattern down there. We're going to go ahead and just cut off a little bit of lows here. Make it a little bit brighter. We'll bring in a little bit of compression on this as well using Logic's Fat Effects. I'm just going to bypass all of these modules and just leave the compressor on. Just fattens it up. And we'll add in a little bit of reverb to put it in some space. Next, let's bring in another guitar to play out some of those low notes. We're going to create a new software instrument track. We'll go over to our library browser, and this time we will bring in a Logic instrument. We'll go to the acoustic guitar here. And really all we're going to be doing is be playing the bass notes here. So I'm just going to take these out. Take a little bit of the top end out. Next, let's bring in the bass guitar and create another software instrument track. And once again, we will use another Logic instrument. We'll go to bass. We'll go to the Liverpool bass instrument. Copy down the same pattern. And for this, we're just going to take a little bit of the top end out as well. Really focus on the subtones. Fill that out. Next, let's bring in some bar ambience into the track. I heard it in the background, like sort of people talking and rustling in the background. So I'm going to bring in this bar ambience sample here. And it's going to sound like this. We're just going to put it in the background. We'll just take that first little bit there. Maybe put it in a reverb as well. Maybe take a little bit of that bass out from the ambience as well. Now let's go ahead and bring in that whistle that happens at the intro. We're gonna go over to our library browser. We're gonna go over to Legacy. We'll go to Logic. We'll go over to World. We'll go over to European, and we'll bring in the Whistler preset right here. Let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. put in that last low note right here. And it sounds like this. Just going to play it all together. Let's just copy over all these patterns. Oh, that's on the wrong notes. Where are we here? Let's go ahead and make sure that this is on the right note. Let's go ahead and just adjust the sound a little bit here. We're going to open up Logic Sampler, and we're going to change the mode over to legato so that when the note slides right over here, it kind of slides into the next note. Let's just pull this up a little bit here. All right, so that sounds a little bit better. We're going to go ahead and just put in an EQ. We're going to take a little bit of the top end out here. We don't want it so piercing, and then we're going to go ahead and change out this reverb to a chroma verb and put it in a nice big space. We don't want it dry at all. We want it 100% wet so that it really fills out the space that we need to be in. All right, next, let's bring in some drums, and we'll go over to our library browser. We're gonna go over to user patches, drum kits. I did put together a kit for this remake, a bar song Tipsy drum kit. Let's start off with the clap. It's gonna go on the 2s and 4s. Next, let's bring in that kick. It's really just one hit right here. It's a big, nice stomp kick. And I'm just gonna take out that second one there. Next, let's bring in another guitar that's used a lot in country music. We're gonna go ahead and create a new soft instrument track. We're gonna go over to an instrument here under Legacy, Logic. We'll go over to Guitars. We'll go over to acoustic guitars, and we'll go over to the Dobro slide guitar. We're going to copy down the same chord progression. So this right over here, and it's going to sound like this. Once again, we're just going to add in a little bit of reverb to put into a space. So technically I could have just created a bus and just bus all of these tracks to one reverb, but we didn't. So let's just do it this way. Now let's bring in some strings. Over to Logic's library browser once again. We'll go over to Legacy. We'll go over to the Symphony Orchestra. We'll go to Strings, and we'll bring in the Orchestra cello section. Can't really talk today. And we're just going to copy down this same bass pattern over here. It's going to sound like this. Then we get into the chorus. First thing we're gonna do here is just duplicate this over. We're gonna layer up our clap with a secondary clap here. Makes it a little bit fuller. We'll put in a crash here as well. Take out all those. Let's bring in a shaker to fill out this chorus line. We'll type in shaker here, and we'll just bring in an Apple loop. The one I want to bring here is this Quincy shaker upbeat. I'm just going to drag that in right to here. And it's going to sound like this. And once again, we're just going to put that into a reverb. Make it spacey. Next, we're going to bring in another Native Instruments guitar for this chorus. And what we're going to do here is go back into Contact. And this time we're going to bring in an electric guitar instrument. We're going to go over to this vintage melody right over here because I don't want to strum. I just want to sort of strum chords, and I could do that with some MIDI. So we're going to leave the default setting that loads up here. We're just going to copy down our chords, and I think I'm going to take these chords right here. It's in the background, it just fills out this chorus section. Next, we're gonna create another software instrument track for another guitar. We need sort of like this mid-range guitar sound in there. So we're gonna go ahead and just bring in another guitar. We'll bring in a steel string acoustic, and we'll copy over this pattern right here. So it's gonna sound like this. On the original track, you probably don't have that many guitars, but because we're not using real guitars, we're not playing it live in, we need to get all of these tones in there to make it nice and full. The next thing that we gotta do here is just fill out the drums a little bit. We'll bring in our tom, just create a MIDI pattern over here, and it's just gonna go like this. It's just this one hit right here. And then we're going to bring in a tom roll. So I already have one audio tom roll right here. So I'm just going to bring it in at the end of every 2 bars here. I'm just going to put this in a space. That's a little too much. And then we get into the B part of the chorus. We're going to go ahead and copy all of this over. And let's go over to that section. We'll continue on with the drums. We'll bring in a tambourin. And then at the chorus B part, we get like this new crowd chanting thing happening. So I'm gonna bring in another ambience crowd cheering bar thing. Put that in there. It's gonna sound like this on its own. So in the background, it's gonna be like this. It sort of happens really in the background, so I'm going to bring in some reverb and push that back a bit. And then in this B part as well, we get a fiddle in the background. It gives us a nice little melody. We're going to go over to Logic's library browser. Once again, we're going to go to Legacy, Logic. We'll go over to, where are we going to go to your world? We're going to go over to European, and we're going to bring in the Irish fiddle right over here. And let's draw on that pattern. So the first part of the pattern sounds like this. So now let's work on that second half. Next, we'll open up the EQ, just take out some of the low, just make it a little bit brighter. So let's open up the EQ that's already there. And we're just gonna cut out this low, some of the low frequencies here. Then we're gonna go ahead and bring in some chorus just to soften up this sound a bit. We'll go to modulation chorus. Softens up that sound, and then once again, let's put it in a space. For this one, we're gonna put it in like in a bigger space just to make it really vibey. Let's put up the density to 100. Once again, we're not gonna be 100% dry. We'll just pull that down a little bit, and we'll put in quite a bit of reverb on this here. Let's hear how that sounds from going from chorus A to chorus B. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Next, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a quick mix, give it a truncated arrangement. And when we come back, we'll take a listen to the full session that we just put together, Shaboozey's A Bar Song. Shaboozey's A Bar Song remade in Logic Pro. For you Logic users out there, I'm going to go ahead and save this entire session for you. Place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. I'm going to go ahead and export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this remake. You can find that playback down below the like button as well. If you have any questions on this or have any suggestions for future videos, let's go and chat down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.